tested some equipment, tested some things, man. I had some things come, making sure everything is all right. Hope everything is going fine. I hope everything is going fine and everything is working out here. Hope you can hear me. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up if there's anybody out there. As usual, you know I'm not going to be on for long. I had to do what I had to do to get the situation together. Working from home is taking a toll some days, but guess what? But God, I'm still here. I'm still working it out, and I'm excited to be here. So in a few minutes, we got Facebook on here, and I always tell Facebook I'm not responsible for the music that's playing back here. I don't have no financial gain from it. So I just want to let you know I'm not responsible for the music, but we need to wake up, man. We really need to wake up and get ourselves together, man. There's so much going on out here, so much being said, so much people are saying different things, and it's the July weekend, and time it's just ridiculous how things are happening, and people are just on edge. And then there's some edge out here. Some things that's taking place, man. We got edge right now, and I understand we need to be, but we need to wake up. We just need to wake up. If, Go ahead, share. Yep, we're gonna share and let everybody know we are on, man. Winning Wednesday. I didn't advertise. We got 3 people on. If you can hear me, tell me something. Let me know you can hear what's going on. Share. Let your friends know that we are on a Winning Wednesday with George Truly St. Louis. And guess what, man? I don't know everything. I'm just trying to be that vessel. Just to share a few informations, a few things that we can come together as one. Cause we need each other. At the end of the day, we need each other. I ain't gonna go into what I got before, and but we need each other. I'm gonna wait. Go ahead and share. It's only 8 on 1. Yeah, man, we need to wake up. Yeah, wake up, everybody. Wake up, wake up, wake up. When you hear this later, it'll be the replay, and I just thank you for tuning in. Take your time to catch up with me later. I didn't advertise this week, man. I just had so much going on. Took some time off. I'm back. Decided to go ahead and do something because guess what? When the spirit hits you, gotta know when to move. And we're in a time that we don't know what's going on with each other. We don't know what the spirit feel like. But go ahead and share, man. Share. Let us know we are on Winning Wednesday. When you get this on later on to hit a replay, we're talking about we need to wake up, get ourselves together. We need each other. When you get a chance, you gotta tell yourself, texting that we need each other. We need each other. Yep, yep, we do. Wake up, everybody. Now I'm gonna take a few minutes, just a few minutes. Yeah, we need each other. We're gonna take a few minutes, few minutes. Oh yeah. Wake up, everybody, man. It's Winning Wednesday with yours truly, St. Louis. I'm just on the, like I said, I'm on the feedback. I'm just trying to enjoy this evening and do what I need to do, supporting the cause, man. I had a few things on my mind and trying to get to that post that I saw um, before I got on real quick. That it really got me. Wow, are we really gonna be in this kind of situation? That are we gonna be in this kind of situation? Are we gonna really situation in fear in this situation that we call life. I live in this situation called fear. Before I got on this evening, while I was getting prepared or just reading over some things and I had a thought, it was a text that was sent to me talking about the militia group getting all together and unifying, and it's 4th of July weekend, getting I guess getting their guns and they getting ready to um, revolt against people due to all the tearing down of these statues. Uh, I guess they call it police brutality and all this different stuff that we're living in right now, and getting a clear understanding about that. And I'm just like, look, if we could spend time to concentrate versus love, that's a problem right there. I know it's hard, and for my biblical people, I try not to be too spiritual and in the word all the time, because we got people who probably don't know how to get to the word, but to get somewhere where you can get hold of this word and get a clear understanding of who you are and whose you are, and you understand, it's all in God's plan and His purpose for your life, in spite of what it looks like sometimes. I text earlier. I shot out a text earlier, and it says, "What happened when you were ordered to love everyone, but everyone don't love you? How do you deal with that's how should I say? How do you deal with that behavior or that choice or that option when you're supposed to love everybody, but everybody don't love you, and you wondering why?" And you trying to figure out, you trying to do the best you can, you trying to survive like everybody else, but you just got a different outlook of how you care about people. And sometimes we say people care about you, but then you realize the closest ones to you are the ones that use you up and spit you out and leave you there for dead. And guess what? They don't care nothing about you anymore, because they don't got what they want, and it is what it is. But you gotta realize that love covers a multitude of sin, and you're gonna have to look at love at a whole different ballgame and say, regardless of how they treat you, you're gonna have to love them anyway. When you get a chance to hear this in the replay, you're gonna have to love them anyway. We need to wake up. I know things are hard, unemployment going on, people losing their jobs, people wondering how they're gonna do this and do that. But I want you to figure out something. In the middle of this pandemic that we are struggling to deal with, the bills are still coming. Ain't it funny that the bills ain't gone away? The bills still coming. The expectation are to still pay them. And guess what? We're going to have to still survive. The companies are saying, even though we're in the middle of a pandemic, I'll take something from you, then nothing at all. But if you give me nothing, I got a bigger consequences from you on the long run. Hey, Miss Kennedy, thank you, Shanika, for tuning in. We need to wake up. No matter what it looks like, God is still in the blessing business. I know we might be in a hard times. When you look at the Bible talks about all the famines that people went through. Some people had a clue what was going on. They had to prepare and get themselves together for it. And some people didn't get time to do it. It's amazing how we are in a pandemic. We have our unemployment at a high level, and we're still getting unemployment checks. Some people are still working with under the stress of this pandemic that we're in, and we're still making it. And all we care about is we worried about ourselves and nobody else. But I really think that what we need to do is get together and work out together and become as one as people and help each other. See, can't say that because I don't want to be um how should I say? I don't want to be stigmatized of like if I'm being racist towards my own kind, but we got a problem helping each other, because as long as I got what I got for me and my household, we're fine. But that ain't how this is supposed to work. See, how can your faith work when things are going good? When things are going good, you don't rely on your faith then. It's when things are going bad, you want your faith to kick in and ask God to show you a way out of a situation or out of circumstances. You know, I wonder why did God put the 12 disciples together to work together so they could unify and strengthen each other and bring the best to whatever they got to the table, so they can help spread the word of God and be the best to encourage and comfort each other. Sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. Some people caught it and some people don't. And that's what we're going on. We're no longer for my church goers. Some of us are not in church anymore. In 20 years in church, getting the word of God, encouraging yourself, hearing that you could do all things through Christ that strengthen you, and you're in church believing it. But now when you on your own individually and having a relationship with God, you can't believe that God can still do the same thing that you believed and heard before. Hey, Gazette, Thomas, how you doing? And you can't believe that God's still working. Where's your faith? You need to wake up. Where's the faith that you had when you were running around the church? Where's the faith when you heard your pastor said a blessing is coming your way? Where's the faith when you read this word and it said, where's your faith when it says, even the least, come on, even in the least of these, he's still with you? Where's the strength to have that? We need to wake up and realize we still need each other. No matter how we do it, we still need each other. For my Bible scholars, I gotta go to the Bible a little bit. I'm coming from 2 Kings 4. And the Bible talks about when Elijah told the woman to go into your neighborhood and get some empty jars, because what she had was a little bit of oil. But he told her to go in her and get some empty jars. And I want to figure out how many people are willing to go out and open up their share with each other. That guess what? I'm in need. I'm struggling. Can we figure out how we can come together and support each other in a time where I'm down to my last? See, this is what I realized something. Like I said earlier, you never know what you got inside of you until you come down to your last, till you down to almost to the bare minimum. God got a way to get you to your bare minimum to get to come together to show out. But as long as for him to show out, as long as he's telling you what to do, and you got to follow instructions. See, I think what it is, a lot of us don't want to be obedient to the Spirit of God because we allow our pride to get in the way. She's in a household with her children and her child, and the manservant told her, go to your neighbors and borrow the empty jars. It don't make no sense. Why do you want me to go borrow something? Why do you want me to communicate with other people? Why do you want me to embarrass myself to let them know that I don't have enough? You want me to borrow from other people. You got to understand when you be obedient to the Spirit of God, you would do things that is not normal and not comfortable to the spirit, to your body, but your spirit, it makes you feel good because guess what? It's other people out here that look like they doing good and doing great, but guess what? They just won't open their mouth to say what's going on in their household. They won't come out and say what the need is. They won't come out and express to a girl or guy, you're not the only one. I'm struggling too, but guess what? If we come together, probably, see, when we come together, probably we can come together as one, because I could take the little that I have and you take the little that you have, and if we put it together, we can make something happen. And see, what the thing about it is, the Bible says, don't ask just for a few. Go ask a lot of people. So go tell a lot of people what you got going on. Tell them the struggle is real. It's so real that I got to come out here and talk about it, because if I keep it to myself, I might just pass out and die by myself. Somebody going to be like, I wish you had said something. You know how we do. I wish they had said something. I probably could have helped them. But we gotta think that we gotta kill this pride. We gotta kill this. We gotta kill the negativity. We gotta get to the purpose in our life that we need each other. And what it look like, we could take what your loaf of bread and my cheese come together. We just got a cheese sandwich, and you got a toaster. We can make it even better. We got some toast or grilled cheese sandwich somewhere along, but we don't tell each other what's going on or what we're missing. We'll never help each other. Hey, Miss Davis, how you doing? You feeling well? Yeah, so we got to understand we need each other. We need to wake up. Elijah told a woman to go ahead and ask for a few jars. Now, don't ask for just a few. And you got to determine how much people are you willing to expose your situation and your circumstances to in order to go borrow. How do you tell? The problem is we don't want to go borrow from each other because sometimes we don't want people to look at us in a different status of, oh my God, I helped them to get from where they at to get to the next point. The next point. In this day and age that we're living in, we're going to need each other to get from point A to point B. From point A to point B. We're going to have to stop the excuses and go out and tell and ask everybody and tell somebody what's going on in order to get to the other side. How can I help you to get to the other side in the middle of this pandemic when I'm trying to survive myself? Come on. It's so funny that we're going to need someone to help us pull out what God has already put inside of us because we're 10, 15, 20 years of our life thinking that we got it all made together, got it all made and it's all together. Never really comes out on our own. It never comes out until we are in a situation where we see trial and tribulation and we need somebody to help us pull what God has put inside of us. Because guess what? If we don't go to a situation and meet the right person or say something to the right person, you'll never know what's on the inside of you till somebody identify and be able to tell you that guess what, you got it all inside of you. Now you need to go ahead and pull it out. We're going to each other. Come on. Allow me to be a blessing to someone sometime in need other than just yourself. Be a blessing to somebody. Support somebody else other than just your family members. Support somebody else than other yourself. Stop trying to serve yourself. Try to serve somebody else sometime. We need to wake up and realize that we need each other. We know how to survive. This ain't the first rodeo, but guess what? We're going through a different test this time. What we're going through this time is God is so awesome and wonderful. God said, guess what? I'm gonna show you how much you need me individually now. I'm gonna shut the door to the churches. Some of us still having church, but at a high risk of being disobedient to the law of the land. That's a risk you got to take. Some of us are having church just because, guess what? We got to figure out how to get the bills paid. We don't want to lose our church. We don't want people to talk about the building. But what about our soul? What about our spirit? What about the man next door who already don't go to church and we ain't even trying to offer them church by spending a word with them? We are the church. I want you to realize that somebody put that on there. If you're still here tomorrow, next week, when you hear this, tell yourself you are still the church. You are the church. You don't have to wait for the church building. You don't have to wait for the keyboard. You don't have to wait for the what you call the praise team leader. We are the church. Some of us been in church for 20, 30 years, and you have not brought anybody to the church. No talk church with anybody. Now you have an opportunity to guess what? To evangelize now. Talk about the situation. Hey, how you doing, Darissa? You got a chance to right now to go ahead and talk to people about the God that you serve, the God that you said that you believe, the God you said from lack to where you are now. We are the church to the point that guess what? We need to wake up and stir up the gift inside of us. We don't even talk about the giftings no more because guess what? We don't think the giftings work in the 20th century. What my prophet said. Hey, Miss Wade, thank you for tuning in. Hey, Miss Kimberly Lee, thank you for tuning in. Where are the giftings right now? We got to still wake up. The church is still alive. The church is not the building. And like we used to say in church, headlights, when the pastor make a point and you realize that the point hit you so hard nobody wants to say anything. So I'm going to say, hey, lights, hey, Facebook, where is the church right now? Why aren't we out here going out in the neighborhoods like God, like Elijah told the woman, go and ask the neighbors for some empty jars. In order to ask for empty jars, you're gonna have to open up your mouth and say something. And when you realize that the discussion that you can come from open up your mouth from encouraging each other, you're gonna realize you're not alone. You're not the only one that's going through. Guess what? Don't get it twisted. Church people suffering too. Church people have lack too. The problem is if they truly are a man or woman of God, they won't be scared to talk about what they're lacking. Come on. Don't act you are here and borrow. We need each other. I applaud all the churches and all the people that were preparing for a time like this. We have technical church right now. We online doing church all over. We talking about God. But guess what? If you ain't talking nothing worth substance to encourage anybody, you might not keep anybody on you because people are looking for somebody right now that can encourage, sustain the times, discuss the problems, and most of all, how can we fill the void that we're dealing with right now when in the middle of lack? He told he told the woman, don't, guess what? Don't just go out and ask for a few. I'm in the Bible, y'all. Second Kings chapter 4. Don't ask for just a few. You got to go out there and share this word with everybody. And in return, you might just get what you need. Somebody might just say, hey, excuse me, I got an extra loaf of bread. Here it is. I got an extra case of water. But you got to go out. You have to go borrow. And when the story continues to say, then go inside and shut the door. And guess what? You and your sons, shut the door. Figure it out. If we all can come together and take some time and discuss the problems that we're having and wake up and discuss the problems and realize the God that the little bit of what you believe and your faith can encourage me. We talk about iron sharpening iron. If iron gonna sharpen iron, we're gonna have to get to the same heat and figure out that you can't take as much as I can in this area, but I can tell you how to overcome this in that area. You can tell me how to overcome in that area. We're gonna have to come together. Come on. And shut the door and realize in that present moment, when we say iron sharpen iron, we need each other. Yeah, the Bible talking about vessels and oil, how you go out and get the vessels, and how you go ahead and don't just ask for a few, but when you bring them in, they're all together. In this case, there was a bunch of empty vessels. We don't even know what size. We don't even know what the capacity of the vessels were that you borrowed. But the point is we all came together expecting to put something into the vessel. So my thing is we come together as people, as those vessels, because guess what? Some of us are empty in certain areas, and we're going to have to come together and realize that I can lose a little bit from you, you can use a little bit from me, and it's called pouring in. In this case, it was pouring in of oil. Come on. And the oil only flew or ran or came enough when they realized how many vessels they had. Hey, Ramona Wade, thank you for tuning in. The empty vessels that they had, guess what? Ever Kevin Feaster, what's up, team? When you got the empty vessels and you come together and you start wondering what's going on, you can realize everything that we need is right here among each other if we can only sit down and communicate and relate with each other and really understand that we can do this together better than we can do it separated. Come on. And it says, pour out the oil into the jars, and each of them were filled. Guess what? I can need to encourage you. You can reach my need to encourage me. But we first got to come together. When we start waking up and realizing that we haven't got to the point where things are real bad enough yet, it's bad. If you leave it up to somebody, it's bad. But it's not bad enough yet for God to have to do something. Hey, Miss Yolanda Moore, it's not bad enough yet to the point where God is going to start pouring out blessings. So what happened? We got to the point now God is allowing us to realize that we need each other. We need to bind together. But when God has come to a point where he had to pour out a blessing, it's when we talk about God is an entente. Have you ever had a situation where you had to borrow money and everybody you asked had something to do, had an excuse, or either didn't have the money, and then your faith kicked in and you realized when your faith kicked in bad enough that everything else was exposed, all the avenues were cut off, and you couldn't go no more, no one was able to help you, God turned around and poured out a blessing for you. See, it's not bad enough yet that God is, because he waited for us to get back to him. I'm not perfect. I got some things I got to cut off. I got some things I need to deal with. But the question is, how bad do you want it? How bad are you willing to find the help from somebody else? See, I didn't even think about that till now. Thank you, Jesus. What you make happen for somebody else, the word says he'll show enough to make it happen for you in the long run. When you sacrifice for yourself for somebody else, God will have you covered. Why not have God cover you because you're willing to help other people other than yourself? We need to wake up, y'all. We need to wake up. I said a minute ago when God shut the door and told them, we got to be obedient to the instructions. See, he told her to go to your neighbors, number one. When you got to go to people and really ask for help, you're going to kill your pride. When you really got to kill your pride by going to ask people for help, it's a serious thing. When you got to go ask people for help to the point that get some empty jars, let's say the empty jars represent finances. Let's say the empty jars required food, and you got to open up your mouth and ask people for help in that capacity. And he tells you keep on asking and talking and sharing your story until you get to the right person, because it says not just a few. Not just a few. You're going to have to go out and open up your mouth and kill this pride and do the things. And then when you finish and you realize, that, guess what? I did what you said. He said, go ahead. You got a few things. Now close the door. Let me show you how we're going to multiply this and make it different. See, when 5 loaves, 5 fish, 2 loaves, and he took it and made it multiplied his first test and feed 5,000 and had enough left over. He used what he had. It's the same thing here. Use what you got. Close the door behind you and start pouring. Start pouring into it. Start thanking God for what you have. Start praising. Start giving out what you have and share with other people. And watch if I won't secure your benefits for you on the back end. Remember, this story started off with the woman needed to pay her bills to the tax collector, and she had nothing left other than some oil. But when she realized that she was nothing left, and Elijah told her to go out and do this, and she was obedient, she was able to capitalize and pay her bill. I know it's hard to borrow sometimes when we have an outside look. When our outside look at our demeanor make it look like we got it going on. Yeah, the lights is on, the water is running, and food, a few dishes and a few foods, meals on the table. But what happened when you're broken on the inside and you got to go borrow encouragement from somebody else? And when you and you finally decide to open up your mouth and tell your story and tell them, guess what? I needed someone to help pull back into me. Only time I've seen people that really decided to get somebody to pour back into them is when they get sick and tired. In this case, when that woman realized that all the vessels were empty and the little bit that she had to pour it into that and expanded. Borrowing is not only, sometimes Sometimes we borrow from people who have just as much like as each other. Or we know I don't have enough just for me, but we give it away. And it's a strange supply because of your faith that you believe that what you give out, He'll give it back to you. I want you to wake up and realize for this, like I said, this 30-minute snippet, I don't want to go on no rain. I want us to wake up and realize, even though we're in the middle of a pandemic, God is still in the blessing business. We got to open up our mouth and encourage each other daily how to be blessed. Don't give up. We can still survive if we trust each other. And if we trust each other, guess what? God will make a way. And what we fail to realize that, guess what? A little bit of encouragement, come on somebody, a little bit of encouragement ain't going to never hurt you if you decide to give away what you do have. What's your strong point of your life? Guess what? Somebody might be lacking in that area. Turn it around, share what you have, and watch God bless you for taking the time to share somebody with what you got. It's Winning Wednesday. Stop sitting around and moping. Encourage your brothers and sisters, not only your family members. Go out. Open up your mouth. Share with each other. Charles Holland, thank you for tuning in. I'm getting to get off, bro. It's 30-minute snippet. It's Winning Wednesday. Go out and guess what? Share the little bit that you got. Open up your mouth. And guess what? God will bless you for what you have given away. And trust Him. Guess what? That the woman had, you got to look at it like this. What do you have to offer if somebody came and asked you for a job? Alyssa Perry, thank you. What do you have to offer if somebody asks you what you got to offer in this pandemic? What's your empty jar look like? What are you willing to give away to help somebody else? Because when you give it away, watch God multiply the other stuff, the other areas that you're lacking in. See, that's the thing we fail to realize. Don't let the militia, all the talk about, all the stuff on Facebook about people gathering together and they getting ready to revolt. And guess what? Wake up. Stay focused. We all know this was coming. We said we waited for the rapture. We waited for God to show up. Guess what? He's coming, but He's waiting for you to come back to Him. When are you gonna be rock bottom, and open up your heart and mind and say, God, I need you? See, God can't. Guess what? God can't help you if you still full, you still arrogant, you still prideful. You can't. God can't help you. God wants you to empty out everything you got. Once you down to self and see what God will put back inside of you. Guess what? For my topic for the night, I said we got to wake up. Came out a little bit of spiritual reference. 2 Kings chapter 4. God bless. Good night. And guess what? God's still in the blessed season no matter what it looked like. Be strong. Hold your head up.